U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Chris Magnus announcing his resignation after being told to do so by President Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas. So he is out, at least for now.
And is this just the beginning? Joining us now, someone who had that same very job, former acting CBP Commissioner Mark Morgan. Mark, good morning to you. Is Chris Magnus seen as a scapegoat? Is his resignation enough?
So I don't think he's going to be used as a scapegoat at all. I think he was just so wholly unqualified, and he was way over his head. Look, the job of the commissioner is to be an integral part of policy making and the implementation of that policy with the primary goal to protect Americans from threats outside the borders. And if you disagree with the policies, you should push back hard. Chris Magnus did neither. Instead of addressing the worst catastrophic crisis on our southern border we've seen in our lifetime, he came into this administration with some preconceived, imaginary internal issues that he wanted to pursue that wasn't based in fact in reality, but was driven by his own personal ideology. And that created a lot of hate and discontent within CBP and other components within DHS. He's gone not because he was pushing back against open border policies. He's gone because he was completely unqualified and incompetent.
Well, they also don't want him testifying. Alejandro Mayorkas is going to testify before Congress today. They do not want Chris Magnus, somebody who has fallen asleep and skipping meetings, testifying before Congress. They want him to be a sacrificial lamb. They want him to be the scapegoat. I don't think that a Republican-led House, and that's going to happen real soon. We're one seat away from taking the majority. Republicans are. They got 217 right now. Chris Magnus doesn't go far enough, though. You held the exact same job. So you're there to enforce policy that's already in place. You don't make the policy. That's Alejandro Mayorkas. Do you expect him to be impeached?
Yeah, so look, there's a little bit to unpack there. Again, as the commissioner, Rob, you actually are. I was under the Trump administration as commissioner. I was on the front lines of policy making. That's part of your job as the commissioner. And then, of course, implementing the policies of the administration. So that's important. And look, I think that the timing of Chris being fired is what's suspect here, right? They waited till the day after election to be for Chris to be told he's going to be fired, and then of course they wait to actually implement it the day before the secretary is going to testify. Look, I think it's done as a distraction. I think that this secretary is going to welcome questions about why he fired Magnus. So that's few questions he has to address about why he's created the worst catastrophe along our southern border in our lifetime. But look, Mayorkas has got to go because he really is the administration's chief architect, right? He's created the worst crisis on our southern border. We have all the stats, 5.5 million total encounters, 1 million illegal aliens have gotten away. We know among the gotaways are criminals. We know potential national security threats. We know the drugs coming in and killing more Americans in our lifetime. And he continues to say that, you know, defy the law. He doesn't enforce the law. Said be here illegally is not enough. And of course, we know, Rob, that he's lied to the American people in Congress. He continues to say our borders are secure. He has operational control. It's all a lie. First day, the Congress, Republican, when they take back the House, they've got to have the political strength and courage to do the right thing. And the first thing they should do is impeach Mayorkas.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens, Mark. I know that obviously this is as extremely important to you as well as a lot of people. You mentioned drugs, you mentioned crisis. The Biden administration doesn't seem to really think that this is a crisis. You talk about drugs. President Biden met with the Chinese president, didn't mention fentanyl. Rob talked about it earlier in the show. 300 people die a day of fentanyl, and there was no discussion about this.
Zero. It's like it doesn't exist. But that's what this administration, that's why I get so fired up and so angry. This administration pretends it doesn't exist. Like nothing's happening. Our southwest border is literally the wild, wild west. And I'm so frustrated. And I'm angry at the Republicans, too, because they did not do their job to make what's happening in the southwest border a kitchen table issue for the voters to understand. Every single day, as you just described, drugs are pouring across this border, killing Americans every single day. 107,000 in a 12-month period.
Yeah.
The leading cause of death between 18 and 45 is fentanyl. And we know the overmajority of fentanyl comes from the southwest border, of which the precursor chemicals come directly from China. This is unconscionable that this wasn't the leading issue that the president talked with the president of China, and that we understand in this country exactly what's happening along our southwest border.
Yeah, he's talking about climate change, despite the fact that China makes 90% of solar panels. So if we get behind climate change, we're just enriching the Chinese. So bizarre, that whole meeting. I just want to get your reaction to Kari Lake. Right now, it looks like Katie Hobbs is going to be the next governor. A recount could happen. You've got to be below a half a point in the margin. Right now, she's outside the margin for that to happen, although 2% of the vote's still outstanding a week after the election, by the way. But this is a blow for the crisis at the border. because she was going to declare the drug people that are, these smugglers, she was going to declare them, terrorist organizations, and she was going to shut down the Arizona border. Your reaction to that?
Yeah, she was. Look, I'm very disappointed, Rob. Look, she was going to do what other governors should do and haven't done so yet. She was going to declare an invasion under the United States Constitution, because that's exactly what's happened at this border. That would have been a game changer. That would have given the states and Arizona the ability to do what they need to do, and that's apprehend illegal aliens and remove them from this country. You do that, the flow would go down, more resources would be back on the border to secure it, to stop bad things and bad people coming in. Kari Lake was going to be a game changer. The fact that Arizona, a border state, did not elect her is shocking to me, but it really tells you, one, we failed to deliver the message to get on the kitchen table, and apparently this is what the American people want.
Yeah, elections have consequences. Well said. Mark Morgan, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Mark.
You bet. Thanks.
All right.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
For real people.